Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.
From our headquarters here in Lagos, Nigeria, I welcome you to Enterprise Morning on Enterprise TV. I am Henry Igwebike. Well, some will say it's a Christmas without many boxes to open, but it's Christmas nonetheless. Let's quickly plunge into what the newspapers have for us today. And just before doing that, I have my guest in the studios, and that is no other but Dr. Victor Ohai, President, Directors Guild of Nigeria. Welcome to Enterprise Morning today, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, sir, for coming around. And we have breaking news reaching us. Has it that the governor of Ondo State, Olawarotimi Akeredolu, is dead. And also former Speaker of the House of Rep, Alhaji Umar Gali Naaba, is also dead. Doctor, quite a loss, you would say.
May their souls rest in peace. Just tells you how ephemeral life is, and also how limited we are as human beings.
Exactly.
And just tells us of us that are left that we should just be mindful that someday, I mean, every man is born to die.
Yeah.
And there's no way we can get out of this world alive. You know, their time has come. And I just pray that God will comfort their families.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. We pray God would comfort the families they've left behind. But let's move to our newspaper reviews for today, and we have first the Punch newspaper, and the big story there says outrage as Plateau massacre claims 150 over 10,000 displaced. On the right there we have I lost my father, 10 other family members to attack, just photographer laments. And still on the right of the big story we have President order killers arrest. Khan, Northern Governors, Elders Saraki condemn attacks. And on the top slip of the same newspaper, we have President meets governors, seek stronger federal government state collaboration. And still on the top slip of the same newspaper, we have Nigeria's diaspora remittance will exceed $20 billion in 2023. National Assembly reconvenes Friday to pass budget December 30. And on the down sleep of the newspaper, we have federal government plans fresh regulations to OPay, Money Point and orders. 25 killed in Rivers illegal refinery explosion, and 300 Nigerians killed in foreign land. Blood cries endlessly for revenge. Yeah. So let's talk about this issue we have here. Federal government plans fresh regulations for OPay, Money Point, and others. Are we really serious about this? Because before now, the federal government requested, begged for, and asked for a cashless economy, which gave rise to some of this, OPay companies, Money Point, and so on and so forth. Don't you think the regulations the federal government is putting in place now is somewhat trying to suffocate the same system we created to allow us achieve cashless economy?
Fortunately, I read the story.
Okay.
It's not as the headline appears.
So, okay.
What the regulations are, these are also loan companies as well.
Yeah.
And you recall that not too long ago, the government stopped them from defaming people and using crooked methods to get back their loans. So what the authorities are worried about now is a high default rate among people who are borrowers. And so this regulation seeks to make it easier for them to reclaim their loans without going through the methods of defaming people, and to make it easier for them. They want to find new ways to make it easier for them to reclaim their loans, so that, as they say, there's a proverb in Pidgin, say, mechanic not let us know mad people again. So good people, knowing them from bad people, I'm not saying mad people are bad, I'm just saying, just a proverb. There are genuine people who need these loans. You cannot, because of the sin of a few, punish the majority. So these regulations are intended to make those people who are genuine businessmen who genuinely need this money and are prepared to pay back to have access to the loan. And so I foresee, I don't know what they're planning, but I think a credit rating system would do well, such that, I don't know what the regulations are, but if I were in a position, a proper credit rating system, so you know if you're credit worthy based on your payment records, and you're using the BVN, if you don't pay, you will never be able to borrow money again or put money in the system. If you do, they'll collect it at source. That's what I would do if I were in a position to enforce regulations like that, but they have their plans, obviously.
All right, so let's dig into the big story there that says outrage as Plateau massacre claims 150 over 10,000 displaced. Of course, the Nigerian police are saying that the casualties are 96. People on ground are saying it's 150. Well, why are we having this number disparity?
Let me just say this. You see, if you see somebody else, the corpse of other people being carried along the road, it will look like firewood until it comes close
exactly.
enough. Whether 96 or 100 and something, lives have been lost. And believe me, if your family member is lost, one is too many. To begin to argue about numbers is scandalous as far as I'm concerned. They didn't need these numbers in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict for the war, for there to be a world outrage. And yet these are figures that we're seeing here, and our government is only just responding. After being prodded to by prominent citizens to respond. It didn't take massacres like this for this administration and the one before this to go after Jonathan and say he was incompetent. Let us wait and see what this government is going to do. Because this is one number too many. If this goes unpunished, if the culprits are not brought to book, I will lose my respect completely for this administration.
Very true. All right, let's move to the Daily Sun newspaper, and where we have the big story there. Power struggle in PDP intensifies, and the writer there says Atiku's men, new generation members fight for control, and we still have Supreme Court cases stall search for Ayu's replacement, and opposition party may hold a mini convention in February. And on the downslip of the same newspaper, we have Tinubu Northern Governor Senators Khan, Saraki, Obi furious over Christmas Eve attack in Plateau as death toll rises. Ohaneze tax Southeast governors on security. Doctor, let's look a little bit about the opposition, the PDP. Power struggle in PDP intensifies. Do you think it's possible for the power wrestle in PDP? Do you think at this time, that is the most important thing for the PDP if really they intend to take over power, if it's ever possible?
There has to be a realignment, obviously, because if things continue the way they've been going, then obviously the party is because look at it, who is in power in the PDP at the moment? There are people who have been in APC and back. There are people who are not even stable as such. Maybe not necessarily all of them, but many of them. These are not people who may necessarily have the interests of the party at heart. People who may just sell out to the highest bidder, and they are ready to port, as we say, or change parties at the drop of a hat. So if anything was happening, there was some sort of internal restructuring. If the young people are ready to take the party and turn it around, seize it from this geriatric, how do I put it now, hawks that have been there this long, then I think it's about time. Whatever they can do to make it a truly opposition party will be in the best interest of the party. Otherwise, very soon, you won't be able to tell the difference between the ruling party and the opposition party, because the ruling party may just have their people, at the helm of affairs, holding forth for them there, and making sure that they control the party the way they want it to go. So it's important that there's a rejigging and that the party actually gets the right leadership that it truly deserves to make it an opposition party. When you say freedom of association, it means I can be here today, I can be there tomorrow. But concerning political parties, where it becomes a problem is, if you're already holding power, then it becomes an issue. Because if you have voted on the platform of one party, and then you now carry that mandate to another party, then you begin to have problems. But as members moving from one to the other, it's freedom of association. However, what the issue is our parties ideologically driven, or are they driven by the stomach, what they call smart infrastructure? Whether it's the stomach that is driving how politicians move. You find a situation where a person has been in a party, in a party position. I'll give you examples. I look at Anumahi, for instance. I look at the former governor of Cross River State, look at Akpabio and the rest. They were in this party for so long, and then as soon as I saw the other party won, they immediately shifted. Some shifted ahead, before they even declared. They were already looking at where the pendulum is going to swing. And you might say that it is their political antenna that is driving them in a particular direction, and they want to remain relevant. You look at Wike, for instance, you hear the voice of Jacob and the hand of Esau. A situation where he's wearing a PDP garb, but his voice may be completely different. You are not sure exactly where he stands. And you want to ask yourself, what is it? I don't know who does that. Where you are supposed to be in the opposition, you are working with the opposition. So that's the problem with our politicians generally. They are not ideologically, the parties are not ideologically driven. They are driven more by interests. And these interests are mostly personal. Nothing else. Just personal interest is what drives our politicians and the politics in Nigeria. Not national interests, not ideological interests, none of that.
All right, so let's move to our last daily for today, and it's coming from the Nation newspaper, and we have the big story there. Tinubu orders security agents to fish out killers of 96 in Plateau State, and the writer there says attackers razed 221 houses in 15 communities. Search for bodies continues. Outrage over mayhem. And at the top sleep of the newspaper, we have President hails Fubar's commitment to peace. All eyes on Governor Speaker to implement resolution. And on the top sleep of the newspaper, of course, this is expected, knowing it's coming from the Nation newspaper, we have saboteurs frustrating government's effort to reboot our economy. Dr. Victor, hi.
Saboteurs, that's what I wanted to say.
Yes, it says saboteurs frustrating government's effort to reboot economy. Does it look strange knowing it's coming from the Nation's newspaper? Because we all know who are the saboteurs we're talking about. Is it internally generated saboteurs or saboteurs that were created by the government itself?
It's good. It's coming from
the Nation.
The Nation, which is the voice of the Nation at the moment. When you say saboteurs, now finally they know what it's like. It's like, when you say saboteurs now, it's like, okay, so you want to do something, and then it's like there are people sabotaging you.
Yes.
But it's not the first time. When PDP was in government, who were the saboteurs? People were, even when they saw programs that were going to be in the best interest of Nigeria, they will fight it only because they are in the opposition and all that. It's the nature of government. They should deal with it. So it is the job of saboteurs to sabotage. It's the job of government to outmaneuver the saboteurs. So that's why they were elected. That's why they're in government. So let the government people deal with let them deal with the saboteurs, and give us the best. That's what we're interested in. I think they should stop complaining and just face governance and face saboteurs.
Now, there's another interesting headline still in the Nation's newspaper. It says, Minister urges cash transfer beneficiaries to invest. And I'm asking myself, how much are they really investing? Is it the 8,000 naira? Is it, what exactly is it?
Did you receive the cash transfer?
That is the question.
No, I want to know, because that it says to, I don't know what their parameter, what their this is. I'm not expecting it, of course, but do you know anybody who has benefited?
That is the worry.
So,
actually.
you see, an issue of invest, you want to ask yourself, invest. How much is it? Is it 8,000 or 25,000? I don't know. It's supposed to be
the last time it was 8,000. It was reviewed. I do not know what the next.
Okay, 8,000. That's about $6 or $7.
Yes.
So you go and invest $6 or $7. I don't know. These people are just sick in the head. I'm sorry to say. This is not money. That's not money for breakfast for their dogs. You give that to a whole human being with family, wife, and about 3 or 4 children. And you say to them, go and invest $7. I mean, can you imagine how these people are thinking at all? It's like, big deal. We've given you $8.
Ensure that
Make sure you
invest it and get profit out of it.
Meanwhile, school fees. Go and check what school fees is. Even for primary school, for one kid.
For public primary school.
Yes. And then you say, go and invest that. These people are... When I say sick, I'm not abusing anybody. When I say sick in the head, it just means their faculties are not, their heads are not well screwed. They're not working, they're not thinking well. Which is unfortunate for us, because they're the ones who are determining the fate of millions of Nigerians.
Exactly. And now we have this other headline, and still with the Nation. It says, President hails Fubar's commitment to peace. And the question is Fubar finally moving towards the president, like everyone had?
I talked about the danger of a one-party state. That's what it's coming to. Watch what is going to happen. If this happens with those 24, 27, whatever, declaring, next is Fubar will now, either now or by the next election, now change to APC. That's probably the end game. Do this, and then later you can join us, and we'll guarantee you that you'll be in power for the next 8 years. These are kind of dirty deals that you see. Otherwise, as an executive governor, the president has been elected like you have been elected. He has no right to dictate to you. This is your state. You have a mandate of the people. I don't know what they have used to intimidate or to cow him, but if he succumbs, I'll be disappointed.
But what if Fubar is pitching towards peace? Because we know that peace is...
I don't know about peace. What is peace? Let me explain. What is peace? You willingly said you are leaving. I did not chase you out. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. You willingly said you are leaving, and you left. How is peace begging you to come back or bringing you back? If you have left, you have vacated your office. You have vacated it. Let the constitution have its way. New people will be elected. Go and contest again. For me, that is peace. I will not disturb you. What is peace? I'm twisted. I'm disappointed. That is not peace. People who you have in your cabinet, all of them abandoned you. They resigned. Which means they have no more respect for you. Is peace bringing these people who are not loyal back into your cabinet? You call that peace? Even the graveyard, peace of a graveyard is better than that one. You will now be surrounded by enemies and you call that peace?
But what if we think that Fubar has a game plan he hasn't showed
He has no game plan. Absolutely none. So what the game plan probably is, and you can take that to the banks, is, okay, they would have threatened him that they will find a way to kick him out, whether he likes it or not. And then the next thing is, look, you better cooperate with us if you want to remain in government or in power to have peace. Then peace for his personal peace now, not for the state. Now what they want to do is simply take over rivers. They have been angling for rivers for a very long time. This is their final chance. So, Wike, Fubar, all of them will just, of course, move to APC. That's the peace. How is that peace? How is that peace? It's sad. We are gradually becoming a one-party state. It's not healthy for this country. I don't care what anybody says. It's not healthy for any country. It's like when you have a monopoly. Imagine having only one cement manufacturer in Nigeria. The price of cement will jump over to 20,000. There's nothing you can do about it.
True.
Because there's no competition. That's the danger of having a one-party state. Where what everything it says goes, all right, sir, all correct, sir. So everything that is said goes. Good, bad. That's what you have in Cameroon. Whether for good or for bad, that's what you have in Uganda.
But they've always made reference, but they've always made, the ruling party have always made reference to Lagos State, how that the so-called one-party system is working for Lagos and has given the reason why there's so much, in quote, development
what that simply
in the
means
state.
is you assume that there's no other wise person. How can you tell until you have tried others? How can you tell? You therefore assume that, okay, you must be the wisest person. What if you drop dead to that? Everybody will, at some point or the other. No matter what we do, we can never get out of this world alive. I said so earlier. So when that happens, then what happens? Then that wise, all wise, and there's nobody but God who is all wise, all knowing. You understand?
Yeah.
So if you assume that there's only one wise man, what happens if that wise man is incapacitated tomorrow for just one reason or another? So what happens with the one-party system in Lagos State? Or the one that will be happening at the federal level? Who will now be the wise man that will take over? When you look at one human being as the Messiah, then to the exclusion of all else, there's no other wise man in this country. For what? Since when? That's not right. It's not even good for the president. You know why? There's a need for him to hear opposing, because you will then be surrounded by people who will not tell you the truth.
Yeah, true.
These people will always tell you, oh, you are the best. And if you're not discerning, maybe in his younger days he was quite discerning, but as you grow older, forget it, your faculty will not be as sharp as it used to be. You might say you are getting wiser, but senility grows. I mean, there's some things that come with age. You know, it is dangerous. Babangida benefited from people like Sholari, benefited from all those who opposed him. It made him sit up and, at least to a very large extent, do his best for Nigeria.
Yeah, true.
But when nobody can question you, that's dangerous. It's not even healthy. Because when danger is coming, you will not see it. Because even when there's obvious danger, everyone will tell you, oh, okay, everybody is correct. No, there's no hungry person. You are the best. Don't mind that man, is your enemy. That man that is talking. Meanwhile, that man may be his best friend. He may be the only one telling the truth. And the people surrounding him, if anything happens to him today, they'll be the first to ditch him. I'm telling you. He's only relevant now because he has power. Even in Lagos, he was only relevant because he maintained power. And so all the loyalists know that they cannot enter government without him. That's the only reason. If he's out of power, he doesn't have that power again, he will know who his true friends are.
Very true. True. Very, very, very true. Well, that's just about the time we have for our newspaper reviews today on the Enterprise Morning. I'd love to say thank you, Dr. Victor Hai, for being part of our show today. Thank you so very much, sir.
Thank you for having me.
All right. So when we return, much ado about the private investigators report. Stay with us. It's still Enterprise Morning. Please don't go anywhere.
Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.